again. Today we're gonna do a very chill journal with me where I get to plan out my week and kind of get my very messy, disorganized life put down on paper. Summer break recently just started for me and it kind of feels very seamless to what was before because quarantine kind of just felt like a earlier extension to summer break. Now that it is finally summer and I don't have the responsibilities of like schoolwork and senior stuff, I am able to focus on other things like my work. So I've been keeping a journal and a pretty diligent calendar, so I kind of have a sense of stability and like routine in my life. So without further ado, let's just jump right on in.
Narrating Lynn is back. How are you guys doing? How are your days going? Why am I pausing like you're gonna answer me back? Wow, this isn't an episode of Dora. Jesus Christ. When I'm doing voiceovers, it often feels like a one-sided social interaction. Granted, a lot of my in real life social interactions feel one-sided, so luckily that has made me develop the skill of carrying conversations. So let's talk about things. Topics for today. Let's talk about myself and what's been going on in my real life because I'm a little bit narcissistic and I don't know what else to talk about. Oh, to be a Gen Z. Lately, I've developed a deep appreciation for small businesses, for our local restaurants, for our creatives, for our artists, because they are amazing in what they do. Being a small business owner myself, granted, I'm not developing like computer parts that are life-saving or cooking up amazing dishes that are so deliciously mouth-watering. I make art, which granted, I don't want to devalue art because art is essential to humanity. I never quite understood before the extent of dedication, of time, and effort that goes into running a small business and making it successful. Being self-employed is a hustle. It's a hustle because honestly, the system is pitted against you. I mean, Amazon exists, y'all. We're competing against 2-day free shipping, and with everyone's attention spans and impatience nowadays, that is a hard thing to compete against. And that is why everyone hates Jeff Bezos. So I've been going out of my way, scouring the internet on Etsy and on Instagram to find small businesses. I found this lovely young woman. Her name is Connie. Her handle is Connie Creative on Instagram, and she is an art print, sticker sheet, stationery business owner. I am using her Vietnamese themed sticker pack here today, and her artwork is adorable. She's a person of color, and her art style is amazing. And it just brings a little bit of happiness to my heart. I'm so happy I get to support her. It's really heartfelt to see the amazing outrage and uproar support going towards our POC businesses. With COVID-19 and the Black Lives Matter movement, we've seen upticks in sales and, you know, financial support for these businesses, which is amazing, but I hope it's something that isn't just a trend. I hope it's something that becomes a habit to support people of color, to support Black businesses. In the United States, racism and speaking out against racism has been something that motivates people to support victims of that racism, but I hope we continue to uplift and expand the voices of people of color continually for the rest of our lives because they deserve to be heard as much as they do in their pain. They deserve to be heard when they are happy and joyful and successful. Anyways, talking about success, I am a mess when it comes to that. I am so bad at juggling my work and juggling my self-care and my, I guess, social life. I am definitely a workaholic, and I remember talking to my speech and debate coach. We were discussing whether I would be able to do an online speech and debate tournament, and I was telling her I'm honestly having a hard time finding a work-life balance right now. And then she said, well, you're supposed to be having senioritis, not having a crisis over this. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Most of my life, I've had this expectation, whether it's from my parents or my peers or pretty much everyone in my life, I feel like right now, to be successful in what I do. And since YouTube and my business are kind of my full-time job for the summer, pretty much hopefully for the next year or two, I don't know when to stop, because when I dedicate myself to something, I go all the way through, baby. I go the extra mile. That's just the Asian extraness in me. That in return has made my life really unbalanced, and I often forget to take times for myself despite what I may preach on social media or what everyone preaches on social media. So as an outlet for all that stress and pressure and like expectations, I've been journaling and focusing on art. Art is such a creative release, a fresh breath of air for me. Journaling and planning out my week has offered me that stability. Besides the pressure socially, I've also felt the pressure financially. When I got my financial aid package from my university, I hopefully will be attending in the fall, the stress on my shoulders tenfold. It multiplied exponentially because it wasn't until then that I realized the true financial burden of going to college in the United States. But as someone who's paying her own way through college, as someone who plans on going to law school, you know, the full terror of student debt and living independently, and the fact that I'm gonna be filing my own taxes as an independent next year, which also means I won't be able to have healthcare off of my dad's insurance plan, which therefore means I have to pay for my own healthcare, and healthcare is also expensive. And it just made me realize that America's kind of fucked up. Why don't we have free healthcare or any of these other things that other Western developed countries have, like free college tuition, or just like simply, you know, a little bit cheaper college tuition? Why does college tuition keep inflating its price? I don't understand. This entire reality has thrown me for a whirlwind, and luckily I have really supportive friends and family that are able to be like, Lynn, you got this, no need to stress, we have your back. But it's also out of practicing my own good habits of, you know, taking time to myself, budgeting, setting out my work days has really eased off all those anxieties, and has also made me cope with it in a positive manner. Talking about coping, I don't know how my heart is gonna survive if I see another cute Asian boy on TikTok. God damn it. Growing up, I never really had experiences of direct racism, like bullying kids in elementary school. None of that really happened to me because everyone was kind of intimidated by like the smart Asian person, and I was the smart Asian person. But there was a lot of internalized racism in me now that I'm realizing it. And as you can see, I'm basing this entire spread in my journal today after Vietnamese culture, which I have learned to love so much as I've grown older. One of my biggest regrets is not immersing myself in it more culturally when I was younger, but obviously that wasn't my responsibility as a kid, and it's definitely a responsibility I want to take on when I have possibly children in the future. That's way too far in the future. I don't even want to think about that right now, but that is something definitely I want to carry on. I remember when I was young, and I'm pretty sure every Asian person who's watching this who went to school in like a somewhat white community would understand this. I remember hating being shipped with other Asian boys, since there was this entire image that Asian boys weren't as cute as the blonde, blue-eyed white guys, you know? So I feel like other people shipping me with Asian boys, an insult that they were just shipping us together because we're Asian. But now that I am a full-ass adult, now that I'm 18 and matured, Asian boys, y'all, they're so cute. They're so, oh, they're where it's at. That internalized racism, no more. Fuck it. We are giving Asian boys the hype they deserve. Unless your name is Kevin Wing, then F off, Kevin. My last 2 years of high school, I have made it my goal. I want to have that Vietnamese Asian influence in my life. I want to have Vietnamese friends. I want to embrace my culture and not be ashamed of it as I was for such a long period of my life. We have cute boys, we have spanking hot women, we have good food. Oh, the tastiest food, and I am so proud of that. I am so proud of that, y'all. Now, enough of my rambling. We are quickly reaching the end of this video. As you can see, I'm just adding in some final touches on the last page. I created a little work schedule where I can keep track of the hours I've worked so I can find that work-life balance, and with a few more stickers, a couple more doodles, and filling in the rest of my to-dos and events, this is my spread for the week. Guys for tuning in and listening to me talk about my life and also plan out my week. I'm in love with this journal spread, and I hope you guys had a good time listening in. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.